My name is Josh White, and I make breakdown videos of some of your favorite picture cars. This time, Lone Star and Barf's Winnebago. But I gotta think of a way to do this movie justice. A parody movie which riffs off Star Wars while maintaining a lower budget by combining characters, therefore reducing the cast, reducing the effects and number of set locations, and upping the ad placement and merchandising. Let's rock and roll. For this video, we have a confirmed Winnebago Chieftain 33 hailing from a long time ago in 1986. The Winnebago name explicitly stated in dialogue and badging alongside the Chieftain 33 logos appearing in its first hero shot. For the year, I'm just relying on my sources. When you get to recreational vehicles, the model years don't matter that much. I could go into heavy detail, and I will, but just on a few things. 33 just means 33 feet long nominal. That's usually how it works out with RVs and buses. The same naming convention is used for the Toyota coaster buses, like the one used by Milton.
Who's Milton?
In the Suicide Squad. Maintaining the underside of the Winnebago, it appears like the Eagle 5 has the Cummins 4BTA diesel engine for roadway travel. A 3.9-liter 4-cylinder B-series turbocharged engine. For the pre-1987 model year, really previous to 1998, each piston had 2 valves. I go over the differences between 2-valve and 4-valve systems in the Drive My Car video. These engines were built to outlast the model year cycle of passenger vehicle engines being over-engineered for decreased maintenance needs. The timing is even connected through gears as opposed to chains and belts, so that the replacement interval is much smaller. Belts can slip, and chains see greater wear than gear interfacing. The side thruster's construction looks to have a mixture of atmospheric and space race inspired design. It has air screens, meaning we have combustion of a sort happening, but I'm going to nix that with my fuel explanation later. These fuselages are different from typical rockets as the fuel tank is centralized and diverts to its engine on the wing. These main engines are protected by a screen as well. However, a final emergency tank diverts to both engines for a total of 3 fuel tanks. Later on we'll get into how the Eagle 5 pulls. I guess thrust is a better word, from atmospheric aerosol research from the mid-80s, but I want to go over the structural engineering of the Winnebago. I am a teacher after all. The trapezoidal member connecting the thruster to the motorhome needs to be capable of withstanding the axial moment created as the engines try thrusting forward while inertia has yet to catch up to the motorhome. This is why most thrusters on ships that are better thought out are directly behind the shuttle, that way it's just a reaction of forces and not axis moments. An elongated jet profile has also time and time since the space race began been proven to be a poor design, unless the propellant and resultant thrust comes from a different chemical reaction than us Terrans are used to, which, like I said, we'll get into later. I'm getting off track here a little bit, but I can't talk about the fueling and then go back in time to talk about Gus's Galaxy Grill, even with the special fast forward and rewind buttons. The cafe scene is the perfect assemblage of present nostalgia and even fortune telling. I mean, it pulls a Simpsons move and foretells the coming of Dex's diner scene in Attack of the Clones.
You want a cup of Java juice?
But what makes this scene really fun is the Carillion Light Freighter parked on Space Stop 5, adjacent to Eagle 5 as well as the NASA Space Shuttle. This Carillion Freighter isn't the Millennium Falcon since this ship is scaled quite a bit in order to stay relatively the same size as the Chieftain 33. In real, fictional life, the Millennium Falcon is about as tall as the Eagle 5 is long. At the end of the movie, 4-decade spoiler, Lone Star discovers he's a prince through the translation of his medallion.
Hey, I'm a prince.
Yogurt has provided a can of liquid Schwartz in the glove compartment of the Winnebago so that he can race off to interrupt Princess Vespa's wedding to Sleeping Beauty. Newly crowned royalty, they pour the can of liquid Schwartz into the emergency fuel tank. As soon as the liquid force Schwartz hits the tank, the inside of the tank alights to a color temperature of approximately 4,000 degrees Kelvin, if the primary element were iron. Because of the very, 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 very far awayness of this story, we have no clue what kind of elemental properties this thing has and so have no indication of the power within the 16-ounce can. Amazingly, 1 year prior, Stephen E. Schwartz of the Brookhaven National Laboratory published his work entitled Mass Transport Consideration Pertinent to Aqueous Phase Reactions of Gases in Liquid Water Clouds. In water-based, aqueous liquids that undergo phase reactions, the transportation of atmospheric content can be simulated and affected. This Schwartz guy has nothing to do with Mel Brooks' parody, but this route is better for science fiction than if I were to say, combustion doesn't happen in the fuel tank, so luminous reactions in the emergency tank are ridiculous. Instead, I can say that the fuel reaction is coming from the liquid gas phase reaction of the liquid Schwartz that could occur in the fuel tank if we want to continuously stretch our imagination. But the fuel isn't a chain of hydrocarbons like petroleum or ethanol-based products. I'll consider liquid Schwartz to be a water-based fuel. The water becomes steam, releases the trapped propulsive fuel into the contained atmosphere to achieve near ludicrous speeds. But there was really never confirmation that Eagle 5 could go that fast. Harnessing Schwartz's methods, the elongated thrusters achieve peak efficiency. Making a 180-degree turn, Lone Star and Barf leave space tracks in the galaxy so they can take it back to Duridia in time. But it's all just the stretching of fiction to suit my channel's needs, so don't take it as canon. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and cheers for sticking around. Who knew we'd be getting a sequel? But keep the suggestions coming. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.